we are going to study about plant kingdom in details. So let us start with today's episode of Kingdom Plantae. So what are the learning objectives of today's lesson? So first we are going to learn about the characteristic features of plant kingdom. So the main characteristics of plant kingdom we will learn first. Then we are going to classify the plant kingdom into various divisions. So first comes the subkingdom Cryptogamae. Okay, so how we are classifying, on what basis we are classifying this, we will all go in details in the coming slides. So first the subkingdom Cryptogamae, and then that is again divided into three main divisions, that is Thallophyta, Bryophyta and pteridophyta. Then again the next subkingdom comes, that is the Phanerogamae. The next subkingdom is Phanerogamae, that is again divided into Spermatophyta. This is again Spermatophyta is again subdivided into two subdivisions, that is gymnosperms and angiosperms. So this all we are going to learn in details in the coming slides with examples as well as with the diagrams. So let us move on to the next slide. Now first we are going to deal with the characteristic features of plants. So what are the main characteristic features of plants? Now the plant kingdom is very vast. It includes what? From mosses, liverworts, ferns, conifers and flowering plants. So all these are multicellular eukaryotes in nature, and the plant cells always must have a cell wall which is made up of cellulose. Now plant cells are storing carbohydrates such as in the form of starch. Now we all know that plants are making their own food, preparing their own food by the process of photosynthesis, as chlorophyll is present in their body. So chlorophyll, sunlight along with carbon dioxide, they are producing their own food, and that food is in the cells of the plant is stored in the form of starch. So these are all the main characteristics of the kingdom Plantae. So let us move on to the next one and see what is there in store for us. Now how these plants are being classified? They are classified in this basic three levels. So first, whether the plant body is well differentiated and is having distinct components or not. That is whether it is having proper leaves, stem and roots. So whether the body is differentiated into three distinct components or three well differentiated parts or not. Now the next one is whether the body has specialized tissues for the transport of water and other substances. So what are these specialized tissues? These are xylem and phloem. So whether the plant body is having xylem and phloem or not. So whether it is having these components which can transport the water and other substances within the plant body. Now level 3, what is it? Whether the plants are able to bear seeds and whether the seeds are enclosed within the fruit. So what does that mean? Able to bear seeds and whether the seeds are enclosed within fruits, which means that whether the seeds they are having naked seeds or they are having seeds which are enclosed within the fruit. So enclosed seeds, right? So these are the three basic things on which the classification of plants has been done. So now we will move on to see the tree diagram of how the classification of plants has been done. So let us go to the next slide. Now here we can see just a tree diagram where we have mentioned about first the kingdom Plantae. We are differentiating into two main parts or subkingdoms, that is Cryptogamae and Phanerogamae. Now this Cryptogamae is having flowerless and seedless plants. These are all flowerless and seedless plants, right? So these flowerless and seedless plants, what are they doing? They are again divided into main two parts, that is plants which do not have differentiated body parts. That is where the leaves, the stem and the roots are not divided properly. They are called Thallophyta. Okay, now the next part is plants with differentiated body part. What is that? That is they are having differentiated body parts and that is called Bryophyta and pteridophyta. So again, what is that Bryophyta and pteridophyta? On what basis they are being divided? So Bryophyta is divided on the basis of without specialized vascular tissue. That is, in Bryophyta we do not have the vascular tissue for the transportation of water and other systems. So that is without xylem and phloem is called Bryophyta. So without xylem and phloem, that is Bryophyta, and with xylem and phloem, that is pteridophyta. So these are having differentiated body parts, plants with differentiated body parts. Under that category we are dividing them again into two parts, that is Bryophyta and pteridophyta. So in Bryophyta, they are having specialized vascular tissue, xylem and phloem. Just learn this flow diagram or tree diagram carefully so that you will get to know all the subparts and subkingdoms of plant system, this plant kingdom, very easily. Now we are going to discuss about this Phanerogamae in the next slide. So let us move on to the next one. Now in the subkingdom Phanerogamae, what we are seeing here? We are seeing here that in the subkingdom they are divided into two parts, that is gymnosperms and angiosperms. So what are these gymnosperms? These gymnosperms, they are plants which are bearing naked seed. So they do not have covered or enclosed sheets, that are naked seeds. They are called gymnosperms. That is, if we take example of naked seed plants, they are cycas. We can say that as example is cycas, and we can say pine. It is an example of this naked seed plants. Again, when we are moving on to the angiosperms, that is plants that bear enclosed seeds inside the fruits. Now these plants, they are mainly having again divided into two types, that is dicots and monocots. That is, dicots are what we know that they are having two cotyledons. Example, pea, gram and mango, they are dicots. So they are having two cotyledons or two seed leaves. Again, another part is that is monocots, that is having one cotyledon. Example is wheat and rice. So these are gymnosperms, are plants that bear naked seed, whereas angiosperms, they are plants that bears enclosed seeds inside the fruit. So as they are enclosing the seeds inside their fruits, they are again subdivided into dicots and monocots. For that, the example is dicots is pea, gram and mango. We all know these are very common examples, that seed leaves are two. We can divide the cotyledon into two halves, equal halves, whereas monocot, only one cotyledon, which can never be divided into two parts, that is wheat and rice. So this is all a clear-cut tree diagram or flow diagram, whatever you are telling about the kingdom Plantae. So we have divided it into two parts, Cryptogamae, Phanerogamae. So Cryptogamae is having three parts again, Thallophyta, Bryophyta and pteridophyta. In the previous slide we have discussed. So Thallophyta do not have differentiated plant body parts. Just a quick recap. But the plants that have differentiated body parts is then again divided into Bryophyta and pteridophyta, of which Bryophyta is without the vascular tissue system. That is, they are without xylem and phloem, whereas pteridophyta is with vascular tissue system, that is with xylem and phloem. Again, when we are moving to this side, this is Phanerogamae, the second part, which is having divided into gymnosperms and angiosperms. Gymnosperms, the plants bear naked seeds, whereas angiosperms, they are enclosed within the seeds inside the fruits, and they are again divided into dicots and monocots. So this is a clear-cut overview of the kingdom Plantae. So these characters we are going to study in detail now. Now we are here with the subkingdom Cryptogamae. So we will discuss about the characteristics of the subkingdom Cryptogamae. So what does this term crypto means? Crypto means hidden and gamus means marriage. So these plants, they are considered as lower plants, and they are flowerless and they are seedless. They do not bear external flowers or seeds, and hence they are considered as having reproductive organs which are hidden. So they are having hidden reproductive organs, and as the name suggests that they are, the gamus means marriage and crypto means hidden. Now they are considered to have hidden reproductive organs. So these again, they are divided into three divisions, that is Thallophyta, Bryophyta and pteridophyta. Now if you have remember the previous two slides, where in the flow diagram I have told you that Thallophyta, Bryophyta and pteridophyta, on what basis they are divided, we will move on in that details only in the next slide. Now Thallophyta, thallus, what does the term thallus means in Thallophyta? It comes from the term undifferentiated. So these all are Greek terms, and phyton in Greek terms means plant. Now the body is not well differentiated into roots, stems and leaves. It is in the form of an undivided thallus. So thallus is undivided and it is not well differentiated into roots, stems and leaves. The vascular system is absent totally, that is xylem and phloem, that are the conducting tissues of the plant, they are absent. So xylem and phloem is absent. In this Thallophyta, xylem and phloem, they are absent. Now plants are predominantly aquatic in nature, and thallophytes are mainly, they are including the algae part of the plants. They are called Thallophyta. So what are the three main examples of Thallophyta? I have taken three. Please follow the diagram here. The three main examples under which Thallophyta we are discussing is, first one is the Spirogyra. See, in this the body is not well differentiated into roots, stems and leaves. It's just an undivided thallus. This is Spirogyra. It is an undivided thallus. The plant is not divided into roots, stems and leaves. Now the next one is Alva. Here also you'd see a thallus is there, but it's not divided into roots, stems and leaves. Though these are looking as leaves, but we can't find out the stems or the roots in this part. It is a thallus. Here in this Cladophora also we can't see the stem, leaves and roots. So it's a full undivided thallus. So that is why they are called Thallophyta. Now moving to Bryophyta, what does the name suggest? Bryophyta, the name bryon means moss, and phyton, we have discussed in the previous one, means plant. So these Bryophyta, they are called amphibians of the plant kingdom. Why they are called the amphibians of the plant kingdom? They are called amphibians because they are living in the soil, but they always depend on water for sexual reproduction. So these plants, they need water for sexual reproduction. They are called the amphibians of the plant kingdom. So this is a very common question which is coming in your 9th exams. That is why are Bryophyta called the amphibians of plant kingdom. Why? Because they live in soil but depend on water for sexual reproduction. Now, these category, they include mosses and liverworts. They are the simplest land plants and with no true roots. So body of this plant is very simple, flat, and it's sometimes differentiated into stem and leaf-like structures, but no true roots are present in these type of plants. So they do not have specialized tissue for the conduction of water and minerals from one part of the body to another. That is, xylem and phloem is absent in that Bryophyta division also. They are non-vascular and cryptogamic plants. They are all non-vascular and cryptogamic plants. They develop a number of hair-like structures at the lower end called rhizoids. So they include a number of hair-like structures at their lower end. These are called rhizoids. So what are rhizoids? This rhizoids is a very important term. What are rhizoids if they are giving you? That is, they are a number of hair-like structures at the end of this lower end of this plants, and they are helping in fixing the plant in the soil for absorbing the nutrients. Okay, so they are helping the plants to absorb nutrients in the soil, and they have chlorophyll, and they can also manufacture food through photosynthesis. So they can also manufacture the food through photosynthesis. They have chlorophyll and they are able to manufacture food through photosynthesis. Now these Bryophyta, these are the plants which remain, they are staying mainly in damp and shady areas. So is it clear? This is all the important characteristics a Bryophyta can have. So we will now move on in the next slide with a few examples of Bryophyta. So these are the two main examples of Bryophyta, that is liverworts and mosses. So you can see this, these are liverworts and these are all mosses. So they are all green plants. They can produce their own food, and they do not have the body well differentiated into roots. They do not have roots. We can see at times we can see the stem and the leaves. So roots are not visible, but we can see that they are green in color, so they are autotrophic and they can produce their own food. So these are the two main examples of Bryophyta. Now moving to the next one, that is pteridophyta. Now pteridophyta, as the name suggests, what is the word pteron means? The pteron means feather. So the plant will be like feather-like, and the phyton terms means plant. We all know that. Now feather-like or pinnate fronds, that is the main characteristic. They are having pinnate fronds or they are feather-like. Now there are seedless and vascular plants, and they have sporophytic plant body. They are always seedless vascular plants. They are having sporophytic plant body. They also grow well in the shady areas like forests and mountain slopes and hills, especially in the tropical rainforest. These are growing. So the body of pteridophytes, they are always differentiated into true leaves, roots and stems. So they are differentiated into true leaves, roots and stem. These are much more developed plants which are having xylem and phloem. So they are having xylem and phloem. Is it clear? Now pteridophytes are also called vascular cryptogams. So what they are called? They are also called vascular cryptogams. Now ferns are the most conspicuous pteridophytes. And these are seedless vascular plants of humid tropical and temperate areas. So they are feather-like, they are pinnate fronds, and they are seedless. They are called vascular cryptogams. They are having xylem and phloem. Their body is divided into true leaves, roots and stems. They are growing in humid tropical as well as temperate areas. So these are all the main characteristic features of pteridophyta. Now next we are moving with the examples of pteridophyta. Let us see that whether these characteristics match with the examples or not. Now see the ferns. The body is well differentiated into leaves, stem as well as roots. Marsilia is another example. Here also leaves, stems and roots we can see separately. And the mosses. Here also roots, stems and leaves are seen separately, and they are having a well developed vascular tissues for the conduction of water as well as other substances from one part of the body to another. So that's why they are called vascular cryptogams. They are called vascular cryptogams because they are having the vascular system or vascular tissues for the conduction of water and other substances from one part of the body to another in a very developed form. So let us move on to the next subkingdom now, that is Phanerogamae. Now we are here with the group subkingdom, that is Phanerogamae. So what does this term phaneros mean? So phaneros means visible, and gamos we have discussed earlier is the marriage. So in the previous one it was it was hidden marriage. So cryptogamy was hidden marriage, and in phanerogamy it is the visible marriage. So these are seed bearing plants. So seed bearing plants, their body is well differentiated into true roots, stems as well as leaves. The vascular system is composed of xylem and phloem. So the vascular system here is composed of xylem and phloem. The reproductive organs are multicellular seeds, and an embryo develops from a fertilized egg. Now it has a division called spermatophyta. It is again subdivided into spermatophyta, and the spermatophyta is again subdivided on the basis of presence or absence of fruits, that is seeds which are naked or enclosed in fruits. That is, they are all having two subdivisions, that is gymnosperms and angiosperms, or we can say gymnospermi and angiospermi. So how the spermatophyta is subdivided? On the basis of naked seed or enclosed seeds within the fruits. Now we will move on to the examples of phanerogamy. Now first here we are discussing about the gymnospermi. So gymnospermi, the word gymnos means naked. So the term gymnos means naked and sperma means seed. Now when we are under this category, we can say that the plants are with naked seeds. The seeds are not enclosed within the fruits, and they are mostly found in the cold areas where the snowfall occurs too often. These are perennial woody plants forming either bushes or trees, and they live for thousands of years. Now plants are differentiated into roots, stems and leaves. So plants, they are differentiated into roots, stems and leaves. That is, they are having three distinct differentiation of their plant body. And the stem is erect, maybe branched as in pinus or unbranched as in cycas. Is it clear? Now seeds, they do not occur inside the fruit. They are naked. We can say that they are naked or lie exposed on the surface of megasporophylls. Now seed contain a food-laden tissue called endosperm. This is the speciality that is helping the future growth of the embryo. So they are having endosperm. They are with naked seeds. They are differentiated into three main parts, that is roots, stems and leaves. They are mainly unbranched. So the two main examples of this subdivision gymnospermy is cycas and pinus. Okay. Now the examples you can see here, this is cycas and this is pinus. So we can say that these are the main two examples of gymnosperm. Cycas, we have seen that the body is differentiated into leaves, stem and roots. Here also leaves, stems and roots with a well-defined vascular system, and they are mainly present in the hilly areas where there is frequent snowfall. Now let us move on with the next category, that is angiosperms. Now here the next subdivision comes, that is the angiospermy. So what does this term angiospermy mean? So all we are seeing that all are being derived from the Greek term angio, which means a vessel, and sperma means seed. So a seed is enclosed within a vessel, that is the fruit. So plants in which the seeds are covered by the fruits are called angiospermy. Now this angiosperms are divided again into two parts, that is monocots and dicots, which is based on the presence of cotyledons. Okay, so monocotyledonous are monocots, that is having one seed leaf, that is one cotyledon, and dicotyledonous are, it is having one cotyledon, and dicotyledonous or dicots are having two cotyledons. So this we all know from the lower classes only. We have started studying this dicot and monocots. This is having two cotyledons or two seed leaves, and that is one cotyledon or one seed leaf. So this, after fertilization, the ovary develops into a fruit, and the xylem contains the vessel and phloem contains the companion cells. So xylem is containing the vessels and the phloem is containing the companion cells, and these all are flowering plants. So this is the major characteristic features of this angiosperms. So let us see quickly at the examples. So these are the main examples of angiosperms. Angiosperms, like this is a plant, that is Ipomoa, that is we can say there is a flowering plant. Now next comes rice and mango. These are very common plants. That rice is monocot, whereas dicot, this one is a dicot, mango is a dicot tree. So these all are having seeds enclosed within the fruits, and they are having cotyledons, monocot or dicot, and they always what we can say, that they are having seed leaves inside that. But in the gymnosperms, what we are saying, they were not having cotyledons, but they were having endosperms, which used to store food for the baby embryo for the future use. So this is the major difference between the angiosperms and the gymnosperms. So if you are going through this video properly, you will learn the full plant kingdom in details. So please go through it and subscribe to my channel, dear students, so that you get on all the updates of the lessons which I am posting, and I am trying to teach in very lucid and informative way with notes and examples. So if you go through it, if you learn it, you will be getting good marks in your 9th biology exams. And it is mainly for ICSE students curriculum, but the students who are studying in CBSE and other boards also, you are welcome to see my videos, because it is just an overall idea or overall knowledge which I am giving you about this classification or kingdom, whichever portions I am taking. So for today, our this lesson is over. So next I am coming up with the kingdom Animalia. Thank you.